The night was calm, with the moon casting a pale glow over the empty highway. The sound of a high-performance engine hummed through the air as a sleek, jet-black luxury car cruised along the road. Behind the wheel was Camille Johnson, a 27-year-old attorney who had just closed a landmark case in a neighboring city. Dressed in a tailored suit, her posture exuded confidence and composure, though her exhaustion was evident in her eyes. Camille had grown accustomed to success. Coming from a modest upbringing, she had worked tirelessly to earn her law degree from one of the nation's top universities. Tonight, she was heading home, eager to rest after weeks of grueling work. But her journey took an unexpected turn when flashing red and blue lights suddenly lit up her rearview mirror. A police cruiser was tailing her, its siren wailing insistently. Confused, she checked her speedometer. It read just below the speed limit. There was no apparent reason for the stop. Camille sighed, her hands tightening on the wheel. She knew the drill. Pulling over to the side of the road, she lowered her window and waited. The officer approached with a heavy gait. His badge glinted under the streetlights, and his expression was stern, almost hostile. "License and registration," he barked, shining a flashlight into the car. Camille kept her hands visible as she retrieved the documents from her purse and glove compartment. "Officer, may I ask why I'm being stopped?" she asked politely. The man narrowed his eyes. "This car doesn't seem like something you'd be driving. Is it stolen?" The question hit like a slap in the face. Camille's jaw tightened, but she maintained her composure. "No, officer. This is my car. If you check the registration, you'll see my name matches the documents." But the officer wasn't satisfied. "Step out of the vehicle," he ordered. Camille hesitated. "Officer, I've complied with your request. Can you please tell me what this is about?" "Step out of the car," he repeated, his tone more aggressive. Taking a deep breath, Camille did as she was told. She exited the car, her heels clicking softly against the pavement. As soon as she stood up, the officer grabbed her wrist and twisted it behind her back, slapping handcuffs onto her wrists. "You're under arrest for suspected vehicle theft," he said curtly. Camille's heart pounded in her chest. "This is absurd," she protested. "You haven't even verified my documents." The officer ignored her and began patting her down. A few cars slowed as they passed, their occupants craning their necks to see what was happening. Camille felt the weight of humiliation settle over her as strangers gawked at her, wrongly assuming her guilt. At the police station, Camille was placed in a holding cell. Her tailored suit was now wrinkled, and her wrists bore red marks from the cuffs. She sat on the cold bench, her mind racing. She thought about her career, her family, and the countless times she had seen similar cases in court, people unfairly targeted because of their race. After what felt like hours, a young officer approached her cell. He seemed nervous, avoiding eye contact. "Miss Johnson," he said quietly, "your lawyer is here." Camille frowned. "I didn't call a lawyer," she said, puzzled. But as she was escorted to the station's meeting room, her confusion turned to relief and then to surprise. Standing there was Marcus Reed, her law partner and close friend. "Marcus?" Camille exclaimed. Marcus gave her a tight smile. "I got a call from a friend who saw you being taken in. I came as fast as I could." He turned to the officer who had brought her in. "Where's the arresting officer?" "He's in the back," the young cop replied nervously. "Get him." "Now," Marcus demanded, his tone sharp. Minutes later, the arresting officer entered the room. His confident demeanor faltered when he saw Marcus's expression. "This woman," Marcus began, his voice cold, "is a respected attorney. She's never committed a crime in her life, and the car you assumed was stolen is registered in her name. Did you even bother checking the documents she provided?" The officer's face turned red. I was following protocol." "You were profiling," Marcus interrupted. "This is blatant discrimination, and you've unlawfully detained her. Do you have any idea who you just arrested?" The officer shifted uncomfortably. I didn't know she was a lawyer. Marcus's eyes flashed with anger. It shouldn't matter if she's a lawyer or a cashier. You had no probable cause. You'll be lucky if all we do is file a formal complaint. Camille watched the exchange, her emotions a mix of gratitude and fury. She wanted to speak up, but Marcus's commanding presence left little room for interruption. After an intense discussion, Camille was released without charges. The officer offered a stilted apology, but Camille could see it was insincere. As they left the station, Marcus turned to Camille. "Are you okay?" Camille nodded, though her hands trembled. "I'm fine, but this isn't over. That officer needs to be held accountable." The next morning, Camille and Marcus filed a formal complaint with the police department. They also held a press conference, where Camille recounted her experience. "This isn't just about me," she said to the gathered reporters. "This is about every person who's been unfairly targeted because of the color of their skin. We need systemic change." The story quickly gained traction, sparking outrage on social media. The hashtag #JusticeForCamille trended nationwide, drawing attention to issues of racial profiling and police misconduct. The officer who had arrested Camille faced an internal investigation and was eventually suspended. The police department issued a public apology, though many criticized it as insufficient. Weeks later, Camille received an invitation to speak at a national conference on racial justice. Standing before a packed auditorium, she shared her story and called for reforms in policing practices. Her words resonated deeply, inspiring others to take action. In the aftermath, Camille's life changed in ways she hadn't anticipated. She became a prominent advocate for justice, using her platform to highlight cases of inequality and push for meaningful change. Though the memory of that night still stung, she channeled her pain into purpose, determined to create a better future for others. And while the officer who arrested her faded into obscurity, overshadowed by the controversy his actions sparked, Camille's legacy only grew brighter. The experience, though painful, became a turning point that fueled her passion for justice. She dedicated herself to transforming her ordeal into a movement, founding an organization that provided legal assistance to those wrongfully accused or mistreated. Camille worked tirelessly to educate communities about their rights and collaborated with lawmakers to advocate for better policies against racial profiling. Her resilience became a beacon of hope for countless individuals facing similar struggles, proving that even in moments of deep injustice, one could rise above and inspire change. Camille's story was no longer just about her. It was about everyone who had been silent standing united to demand respect and equality. Sometimes, the most challenging trials uncover a deeper strength, and Camille's journey was a testament to the power of perseverance and the unyielding fight for what's right. Through her courage, she didn't just rewrite her story, she helped others begin writing theirs.